Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the Republic of India, His Excellency Ramnath Kovind.
Sadhya, one of the leading contemporary dance companies of India, has been working in the field of dance in and out of the country ever since its inception in the year 1998. Under the able guidance of its creative director, Santosh Nair, it has created a style of its own, bridging both tradition and modernity. Be it dance festivals, corporate shows, or international collaboration projects, Sadhya has carved out a niche for itself. Today, it is a reflection of a special blend of art and entertainment. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The artists of Sadhya bring to you a Ganesh Vandana, symbolic of an auspicious beginning. It is an obeisance to Lord Ganesha, seeking his blessings in all that we do.
जय सुरवर पूजित जित दानव कलभ भास्वर वर लंबोदर दर हर हर कलभ नौमि श्री भगवन्तं गणपतिमति वरदं वरदन्ती मुखं सुमुखं सादर मे करदं वरदं विपदुदधौतं धौतमलं शमलं शमलं वितमपि ददतं हतपापी शमलम् तरुणं श्रीकान्तं कान्तं कलितैकान्तं कलये सुदुरन्तं करुणावरुणालय चरणं विजितरणं शरणं करुणावरुणालय चरणं विजितरणं शरणं यामोऽयमिनं शरणं कृतमत सुवितरणं जय जय सुरवर पूजित जित दानव कलभ भास्वर वर लंबोदर दर हर हर कलभ
Light is the breaking of a new dawn. Light is the laughter of a newborn. Light is when everything is clear. Light is when the heart is without fear. Light is always and always will be. Light is what joins him, you, and me.
Good evening and welcome once again to the 4th ASEAN India Business Summit Gala Night. Let us welcome our host for tonight. He is the Managing Director of MVP Group of Companies Media Bureau, COO Silangan Mindanao Mining Company Incorporated, SVP Public and Regulatory Affairs, Philex Mining Corporation. He is also Philippine Star columnist and host of One News Channel's Titans on Signal TV. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Attorney Mike Toledo.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. I am Mike Toledo and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for this very important and auspicious evening. Again, we would like to welcome you to the Philippines-India Business Conclave and the 4th ASEAN India Business Summit Gala Night. At this point, may we now invite our dignitaries to take their places on the stage, please. Thank you very much. Let us welcome the leader of the Indian Business Delegation and CEO of GMR Construction, Mr. Vivek Singhal.
His Excellency Ramnath Kovind, Honorable President of Republic of India, Honorable Raman M. Lopez, Secretary Department of Trade and Industry Philippines, Honorable Joy Concepcion, President Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Ambassador Jaideep Majumdar, Dato Ramesh Kodamal, Senators, Congress and women, Secretaries of the Government of Philippines, President of various chambers, senior officials, and the industry leaders from Philippines and India, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Magadam Gabi. It's a great pleasure for me on behalf of the Indian Business Delegation to welcome His Excellency Shri Ramnath Kovind, Honorable President of Republic of India at Philippines-India Business Conclave and Asian Business Excellence and Achievement Awards. I would also like to extend a very warm welcome to Honorable Raman M. Lopez, Secretary Department of Trade and Industries, Philippines. The presence of who's who of Filipino and Indian industry at today's session underlines the importance being extended by both sides to collectively unveil the next wave of economic cooperation between the two economies. The relationship between India and Philippines is truly special, and this visit of Honorable President of India will succeed in making this relationship stronger and imparting a fresh momentum to bilateral cooperation between the two countries. Our economies, complementaries, make it essential that we partner with the Philippines and be the part of each other's growth story. Today, India has emerged as one of the largest manufacturing destinations with the flagship Make in India initiative. We have positioned India as an enticing market and encouraged international firms to set up manufacturing plants in India. The ease of doing business has considerably improved with the policy reforms undertaken, such as GST, etc. We are particularly keen to develop India into knowledge-based, skill-supported and technology-driven society through initiatives such as Digital India and Skill India. We invite more and more Filipino people, businessmen, companies to explore business opportunities in India. In trade terms, there is still plenty of room for India and Philippines to grow closer. India and Philippines trade in 1819 has been around US $2.4 billion. Similarly, for the Indian business, there is a huge potential in Philippines market. Being the second most populous Asian country after Indonesia, which offers a big market and substantiative trade opportunities, the regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership (RCEP) agreement, once concluded, will flip trade and investment between India and ASEAN countries. Our Indian companies, Tata Group, Mahindra, not to forget GMR Group, have significant business presence in Philippines. Several IT companies have already set up BPOs, operations in Philippines, and these includes Wipro, TCS, Tech Mahindra, etc. The close partnership in IT and BPO has become a win-win situation for both the countries. Similarly, India has a strong presence in pharma and pharmaceutical firms like Lupin, Cadila Healthcare have set up their offices to offer the affordable pharmaceutical products. Indian companies, especially SMEs and startups, and the entrepreneurs are looking the opportunities present in the Philippine economy. I would also like to give a special mention to the requirement of non-stop flights and the ease of visa requirement between India and Manila, as this will be a significant step towards strengthening business relationships and people-to-people connection with India. Now we need more tourist flows from Philippines to look at incredible India. Other areas with bilateral cooperation could flourish further are agribusinesses, automobile, IT, pharmaceuticals, infrastructure, manufacturing, renewable energy sectors, tourism, etc. In conclusion, we need to build a strategic relationship that will make the world more secure and democratic, while our commercial partnerships will produce novel products that meet the needs of the 21st century. Our joint research and development in agriculture, health, and technology will welfare millions. On behalf of the Indian industry, I would like to propose India and Philippines should work together in the priority areas such as cooperation in the agriculture technology, nurturing innovation and startup ecosystems, partnerships in education and skill development, partnerships in manufacturing, empowerment of youth, women through joint training and capacity building programs, infrastructure development. The time is now to conceptualize our projects into reality. Let us come together and join hands to strengthen our bilateral trade and investment relationships. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Salamat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vivek Singhal. And now, for his address, let us call on the Chair of the ASEAN India Business Council, Mr. Dato Ramesh Kodamal.
His Excellency Shri Ramnath Kovind, President of India, Excellencies, Ministers, Ambassadors, Excellency Roman Lopez, Secretary of Trade, Philippines, Joey Concepcion, Ambassador of India to Philippines, Jaideep Muzamdar, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the ASEAN India Business Council, I would like to extend a warm welcome to Excellency Shri Ramnath Kovind, the President of India. Our sincere appreciation and gratitude to Your Excellency for your graciously joining us in today's AIBC Gala Dinner and Awards. We are truly honored by Your Excellency's presence. ASEAN and India bilateral relationship are gaining strength and is expected to grow strong and flourish during the inherent vibrancy and dynamism boosted by engagement in various sectors, such as political, economic, defense, cultural, education, tourism, and people-to-people exchange. Our goal as a business council is to promote greater business-to-business ties, and is doing so, hope to contribute to the expansion of ASEAN-India trade and investment flow. Established 16 years ago, AIBC has the mandate of the government of ASEAN and India to see that the business community moves forward. We have grown in strength and is a key point of contact for the business community in ASEAN and India. We are working closely with various chambers of commerce and industry of India and all chambers in ASEAN. We always feel that the contacts with various chambers in ASEAN and India will give us better strength to move forward. Last month, the Council met with the economic ministers of ASEAN in Bangkok and in the presence of the Indian Minister of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Piyush Goyal, and presented a set of recommendations that would be considered by the governments to further facilitate business community. The recommendations presented included promoting cooperation and tie-up in setting up startups, fintechs, innovation, expanding linkages between SMEs, and increasing participation of youth and women, which are very important for us to move on and grow. As we see that the world, the population of youth is increasing, and the women have to move in the business world and in the corporate world, and this was actually welcomed by all ASEAN ministers and the Indian minister. Today's event in Manila is another platform for business community to interact and conduct business transactions. Our two-way trade amounting to 80 billion is still short of target set by our leaders. Similarly, while investments are increasing, it is still considered very small. India's investment in ASEAN in 2018 was 1.8 billion, or collectively over the last 5 years amounted to $10 billion. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the trade numbers do not reflect the immense potential of the combined market of over 2 billion people. The government on their part, are putting in place the necessary policy framework and improving connectivity. AIBC commends the government, and we continue to urge them to continue to further facilitate businesses. Without the help of the government from India and ASEAN, we businessmen would not be able to move further. To increase trade and investment, it requires a shift of mindset of business community. We often hear them saying it's difficult to do business. We all complain that ASEAN and India, the businessmen say it's very difficult to do business. This is the biggest challenge for the Council AIBC faces. We have been conducting numerous awareness seminars and conferences to provide information and opportunities. Rules and regulations have to be presented to the businessmen to see what is on the platform so that they can take advantage of it. Sometimes we see that the participation of junior representatives and not senior managers of decision makers coming for conferences, seminars, where they can take the initiative to pass on to the others within the organization. The issue of mindset in relation to doing business in ASEAN and India needs to be discarded. I call the business community to change the mindset. Maybe we in the Council need to shout louder so the business community can transform the change to look at India and ASEAN as a market of tremendous economic growth with a population of 2 billion. We are making progress, but there's still a lot more that we have to do. The Council will continue with its role to realize in 3 key factors: providing the private sector perspective and feedback on broadening and deepening economic linkages to the governments of ASEAN and India, identifying priority areas of enhancing ASEAN-India economic cooperation, facilitating and promoting private sector participation in ASEAN-India economic cooperation framework. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, ASEAN-India have a large young population and women population, and the numbers will continue to increase. AIBC is now promoting the participation of valuable assets to become entrepreneurs and start their own business, especially to be involved in export-import of products and services. We need to motivate these SMEs across the board. Within ASEAN and India, we have about 97% of SMEs, which all the governments would have to take care, and ASEAN India Business Council focuses to see that this happens, providing them knowledge, facility, and market opportunity. After all, the youth are our future. This is an area the ASEAN and India Business Council will accord priority. We will continue to invite successful young men and women entrepreneurs to share their experiences, and I think the young needs motivation. Today, among the 12 winners of the Business Awards and Achievement Awards, the award is given in recognition for the commitment to continue doing business between ASEAN and India. They are successful in the iconic companies that have taken the challenge and the size the opportunity open to them for a combined business opportunity within ASEAN and India. AIB's views of giving out awards will always motivate others, especially the SMEs, to start investing their time to look at the opportunities in ASEAN and India. We increase the connectivity and awareness. We are confident that the economic relationship between ASEAN and India will be more integrated. I am happy to note that the new flight has been opened and many more in the pipeline. The Bangkok-Guwahati flight, which has recently commenced, is a good example and will boost the ASEAN ties with India, Northeast state, and provide greater people-to-people linkages. We hope that a flight from the Philippines would also start off their journey to India, which will actually give an opportunity for the Filipinos and the Indians to have the connectivity in place, and more business can be done within the two countries of ASEAN and India. Finally, I take this opportunity to congratulate the winners of the ASEAN-India Business and Excellence Award, which will be given out tonight. Before I conclude my speech, let me once again say that how happy I have been today, Your Excellency, the President of India, who is with us tonight. Thank you very much, sir. Let us all show the appreciation by putting our hands together and give him a tremendous applause.
Thank you very much, Mr. Godomal. Can you please remain near the podium? And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite President Ram Nath Kovind for the presentation of Memento. Thank you very much. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to call on the Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry of the Republic of the Philippines, the Honorable Ramon M. Lopez.
Your Excellency, President Ramnath Kovind, distinguished ministers and members of the presidential delegation, our Honorable Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel, Senator Richard Gordon, Department of Agriculture Secretary William Dar, Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles, Presidential Advisor Joey Concepcion, Indian Ambassador to the Philippines, Excellency Jaideep Mazumdar, Philippine Ambassador to India, Ambassador Bhagat Singh, Mr. Rex Daryanani, Dr. Ramesh Kodamal, Mr. Jani Chaltrani, Mr. Vivek Singhal, distinguished members of the India and the Philippine business community, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Allow me first to thank the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce, Inc., for organizing tonight's event in honor of His Excellency Indian President Ramnath Kovind. To Your Excellency Indian President Kovind, let me greet you a warm welcome again to our country. We hope from your visit and the bilateral meeting with the President and the gala dinner last night, we hope that you find your visit so far enjoyable and productive. President Kovind's presence in today's gathering is a great reflection of his full support to the strengthening bilateral trade and investment relations between our two nations. Our beloved President, Rodrigo Duterte's trip to India last January of 2018 showed that India is an important trading partner of the Philippines. Aside from holding a bilateral meeting with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, our President gathered over $1 billion in investment pledges and generated 9 business agreements during that visit. As of 2018, India was our 15th top trading partner, our 17th top export market, and our 14th top import supplier with bilateral merchandise trade at $2.37 billion. Our exports to India went up by around 4% last year. Meanwhile, our imports from India also increased by 6.7%. And this is just the beginning. We see this a continuing increase in the years to come. Presently, Indian investments in the Philippines are in the following sectors and industries: electricity, gas, steam, and air conditioning supply, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, administrative and support services, real estate activities, financial and insurance activities, agriculture, forestry and fishing, again, manufacturing, wholesale and retail trade, repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles. And we all know of Indian companies' strong presence in the IT, BPM, and ICT sectors. There are many more investment opportunities that Indian companies may consider, including automotive parts and components, public-private partnership in infrastructure development, just like the project initiated by the GMR, pharmaceuticals, education services, tourism, and hotel investments. Like India, Philippines is one of the fastest growing economies in Asia and ASEAN, with a GDP growth of 5.5% as of the second quarter of this year. Our GDP growth indicates a long-run growth on an upward trajectory, having had positive growth for 82 consecutive quarters. It was also above 6% for the past 7 years since 2012, with our GDP showing a narrowing range of growth rates indicative of more stability and upward trajectory. Rating agencies have upgraded our country's rating to BBB+, a notch below the A rating. Our headline inflation exhibited a slower pace at 0.9% in September of 2019, the lowest inflation since June 2016, and our country's unemployment rate averaged 5.4% for July 2019, the lowest in nearly 40 years. Our underemployment rate was also at 13.9%, when this rate used to be over 20%. And these indicate vast improvement in terms of job quality in the country. With the Philippines enjoying robust economic growth, we need to create more opportunities with India and its fast-growing economy to expand economic engagement that is based on synergies and complementarities. For example, our countries have started the shared distinction of being the top frontline service providers in the BPO sector globally. To ensure close partnership among IT and BPO companies, we need to continue our exchange of best practices with a view to upgrading primary skills. As such, the Philippine government considers the private sector as our necessary partners in upgrading our economic engagement. We need to foster more frequent exchanges between our businessmen to intensify two-way trade. To facilitate direct investments between our two countries, the Department of Trade and Industry and the Board of Investment and Invest India signed a Memorandum of Understanding last January 2019. Separately, Indian bus manufacturer Hinduja Group has already expressed interest to manufacture buses in the Philippines to support our public utility vehicle modernization program. Indian transport giants Tata and Mahindra likewise have investments in the country. In the fields of IT and BPO, we have Indian companies operating in the Philippines as their strategic second location to service global markets while employing many Filipinos. And to this, we thank our Indian friends. Meanwhile, India's GMR Group has engaged in a public-private partnership endeavors as part of the GMR Megawide Cebu Airport Corporation. Through this joint venture, they opened the new Terminal 2 at Mactan Cebu International Airport last July 1, 2018. This is a $600 million project, and this has signaled that they would like to see the Philippines become the company's hub in Southeast Asia in terms of infrastructure projects. There are other areas of opportunities in broadening trade and investment engagements between our two countries. Last August, the DTI Export Management Bureau conducted an outbound business matching mission to Mumbai, India. Filipino companies that participated in the mission were into fast-moving consumer goods like packaged foods, snacks, beverages, personal care products, and pharmaceuticals. These were all identified to have great potential in the Indian market. Meanwhile, the number of Indian students in the Philippines is steadily growing as they pursue medical and civil aviation courses. To help them choose where they study, the Indian Embassy has a list of accredited Philippine medical institutions on their website. All these points of interest I've mentioned indicate that trade and investment between our two countries have only an upward projection. That's not even counting the fact that both our nations are actively working towards the conclusion of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, by the year's end. While underlining economic cooperation and regional integration, RCEP also complements our trust to boost our bilateral economic engagement and national economic roadmaps. We see India as a key partner here in our quest for integration in the global value chain. All this truly made the visit of President Kovind very timely and meaningful to all of us. To close, we are thankful for the broadening trade and investment relationship between the Philippines and India, as there is much room for improvement and the opportunities are numerous. More importantly, these engagements symbolize the growing friendship between our two nations. We hope that this will continue in the days to come as we work towards creating greater inclusive growth and shared prosperity for all our peoples. And this is also the vision of our President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Again, to President Kovind and the Indian delegation, we hope you continue to enjoy your stay in the Philippines. Thank you at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat, Secretary Mon Lopez of the DTI. Next, to give us his address is the Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship and the recipient or awardee of the prestigious Padma Shri. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Honorable Jose Maria or Joey Concepcion.
Good evening. My apologies. I didn't expect to speak in front of the President, so I didn't prepare any prepared speech, but let me speak from my heart. His Excellency Rathman Komdi, His Excellency Ambassador Jadip Mazumdar, His Excellency Ramon Bakatsing, Cabinet Secretaries here present, Ramon Lopez, Dr. Dar, officials and advisors to our President, the community of the Filipino-Indian community headed by Rex Daninyari. They've been trying to make me Indian. Mr. President, I'd like to thank you again for bestowing me the Padma Shri Award. Honestly, prior to getting the award, I really didn't know what the award was about till I met a cab driver, and he asked me, why am I going back to India? And I said, well, I'm supposed to receive this Padma Shri award. And he answered me and said, you're not Indian. So I was very honored to experience that moment in your palace. It was beautiful. And to see a lot of your citizens march down to receive that award, especially simple servants of the Indian community, from doctors and all of that, in their late ages, gave me great respect for your country and how you honor the servants of your country. All of you here in the business community, we're all here for a purpose in life. ASEAN basically was formed to bring about a really community among 10 countries to help one another. Our dialogue partners, together with ASEAN, also aims for that vision of really bring about shared prosperity. For the past 14 years, Secretary Mon Lopez and I have been trying to bring about an inclusive Philippines. Our president, his dream and his reason for being elected as president is because Filipinos believe that he is the person that can change the lives of many Filipinos. Our relationship with India presents so much opportunities. This morning, the Indian Chamber basically brought in the patients from the Philippines, young kids who received liver transplant from India. While in India, I happened to visit the hospital and the doctors, and you can see the passion of your doctors in really caring for these young children. And I felt the chamber here, the Indian chamber, did a great job. And the efforts really to help the poor people in this country is important. We see also that India produces the lowest cost for medicines. Hearing the doctors say earlier that it will cost about $50 a day to maintain these young kids so that they don't reject the organ. That is a very high price in Philippine context. But buying the medicines from India, it's basically 10% of the cost. So this is where we learn from India their strengths, not only in medicine, but basically in the other areas that I believe that can alleviate poverty in the Philippines, agriculture. Secretary Dar was in India for 15 years in Inkrasat. He has been secretary to President Estrada and now to President Duterte. He comes at the timely moment when we're facing the largest crisis, which is basically we have now opened the doors to the importation of rice, basically to get our farmers to see the world and the reality that being a low-cost producer of rice will require a lot of effort. And competition brings about the best in us. And that's what I've learned in being part of the ASEAN Chamber, being a chairman for the last 2 years, that competition does bring the best in us. But in the end, mentorship is what is needed. Dr. Dar's 15 years of experience brought him the mentorship, the ability to prepare ourselves at this point in time to help the Filipino farmers improve the level of productivity. And in the end, that is the way forward. And that is sustainable. I'm glad that GMR is in the Philippines because the other area that the Philippines needs is tourism. We have the greatest potential with 7,100 islands. And of course, connectivity is the most important. and airports are key to connectivity. And this is the way forward, really, in alleviating poverty in our country. The Indians are very well known in the digital space. Everywhere in Palo Alto and every country, Israel and all of that, the Indian community is far a leader in the digital space. And this is where we hope to gain knowledge from our country and the individuals who possess this talent. The future for this world and for this region really relies on all of us in this room. The private sector working with government. That partnership is essential in really developing a platform that will allow every citizen in the respective countries to have a better future. The Filipino people have been waiting for countless of years to be free from bondage of poverty. And I'm glad that our President has given these three areas great priority. And with all your help, and the Indian community here, and of course the ASEAN Indian Council, led by Dr. Ramesh, has been quite instrumental in providing that mentorship that will guide us to the pathway of really creating prosperity, not only for the Filipino people, the Indian community, as well as the ASEAN region. And with God's help, we will succeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joy Concepcion. As always, he speaks from the heart. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome for his keynote address, His Excellency, the Honorable President of India, Ramnath Kovind.
His Excellency Mr. Ramon Lopez, Secretary, Department of Trade and Industry of the Philippines, Excellencies, Ministers and Senators, Mr. Jose Concepcion, Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Dato Ramesh Kodamal, Chairman, ASEAN India Business Council, Mr. Vivek Singhal, Leader of the Indian Business Delegations, Captains of Industry from the Philippines and India, ladies and gentlemen, Mabuhay, Namaskar, and good evening. I am pleased to address the India-Philippines Business Conclave and the 4th ASEAN India Business Summit. I thank the business organizations and government bodies from the Philippines and India for organizing today's event. This is my first state visit to the Philippines. I am here to mark and celebrate 70th years of the Philippines-India diplomatic relations. Yesterday, I had wide-ranging discussions with President Duterte. We agreed to take forward and broaden our bilateral ties, in particular trade and economic relations. The Philippines is our natural partner in the ASEAN region. In recent years, we have seen an upswing in bilateral trade and investment. We need to not just maintain the present momentum, but to accelerate it further. Ladies and gentlemen, the potential for the Philippines-India economic collaboration is significant. Both countries share mutual complementaries, which can be utilized to deepen trade and investment ties. Both India and the Philippines are among the fastest growing economies. Both possess large, young, and aspirational population. Both are invested in new technologies, innovation, and startups. Both are services powerhouse, and both are committed to inclusive growth, fighting corruption, and bringing about transformative changes in people's lives. India's Make in India and Next Generation infrastructure programs and the Philippines Build infrastructure initiative present immense opportunities for companies and investors on both sides. In the coming years, India will be spending about $1.3 trillion to develop next generation infrastructure from smart cities, ports, airports, expressways to digital highways. A focused business approach which combines investors with opportunities and partnerships with projects is the way forward. I am happy that your deliberations earlier today have been most fruitful on this aspect. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippines-India business story is an encouraging one. While bilateral trade has shown continuous progress, the real gain has been our collaboration in the IT BPO segment. Leading Indian IT majors have set up enterprises in Manila, creating job opportunities for youth and value addition for the global economy. As we race into the digital age, we have immense opportunities before us to fill e-commerce selves, create fintech services, develop imaginative entertainment platforms, and power green and clean solutions. In recent years, we have seen two-way investment grow in infrastructure and energy sectors. More prospects wait to be converted into concrete projects from airport terminals, LNG pipelines to waste management solutions. The Indian pharma and healthcare sectors offer immense value to the Philippines. And while Indian tourists to the Philippines continue to grow, medical tourist numbers from here to India are also on the rise. Our world-class healthcare services at affordable cost are bringing joy to people's lives in this country. There is a scope to enhance partnership in several other areas, from trade, investment, services, agriculture, engineering to new technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, I just gave you a snapshot of the Philippines-India business collaboration. Philippines' economic dynamism and India's growth call for greater and deeper engagement. India is the sixth largest economy in the world today. We have set a target to become a $5 trillion economy by 2025. India's economic and business environment is undergoing a transformation like never before. We have undertaken path-breaking taxation and banking reforms. Our sustained reform efforts have led to a spectacular jump of 65 places for India on the World Bank Ease of Doing Business Index. We have also moved 44 ranks on the Logistics Performance Index. We have worked hard to strengthen the IPR regime. Most recently, we have slashed corporate tax rate to boost growth and investment. As a result of our efforts, in the last 5 years, we have received FDI worth to $86 billion. This is half of India's total FDI inflow in the last 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, India is following a strong growth path, but we are equally conscious of equity. To distribute the fruits of development, we have undertaken the world's largest financial inclusion initiative, under which 370 billion people at the bottom of the pyramid have been made bankable. Small and medium enterprises have a major role to play in the Philippines and Indian economies. A major constraint for small entrepreneurs is the lack of collateral for finance. Last year alone, under our Mudra scheme, we disbursed collateral-free loans worth $44 billion US. Our two countries have much to share and learn from each other, even as we do our best to promote the small and medium enterprises segment. India is home to the third largest startup network in the world with over 21,000 enterprises. The Philippines is also making significant progress in innovation and entrepreneurship sectors. I am told that the Go Negocio movement in the Philippines has made significant contribution to fostering new enterprises. I had the pleasure of presenting India's Padma Shri Award to Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Mr. Jose Concepcion, present here in New Delhi last year for his work in this field. Secretary Lopez has also provided valuable support to the initiative. I am happy that the second ASEAN-India Innovation and Technology Summit is taking place in Davao in November 2019. I wish the summit a success. Ladies and gentlemen, ASEAN-India relations are special. Our Act East policy puts the region at the center of our engagement with the Indo-Pacific. Last year, I had the honor to host heads of state or government from all ASEAN countries as guest of honor at our Republic Day celebrations. The ASEAN is one of the most economically dynamic regions of the world today. We have deep political and people-to-people relations with each and every country in the ASEAN. We wish to bring our economic and business relations up to the same level. ASEAN-India trade has jumped significantly in the past few years. Last year alone, the trade increased by 19% to reach $96.79 billion US. However, we still have a long distance to cover to reach the target of $200 billion US by 2022. Effective use of existing mechanisms, particularly the ASEAN-India Business Council, can go a long way in realizing this goal. Just as Indian companies see significant opportunities in the region, I am sure the ASEAN Business Community also recognizes the tremendous business potential in India. India wishes to participate in your growth story, and we invite all of the ASEAN to participate in ours. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event embodies the spirit of both bilateral partnership and regional cooperation. I am confident that your discussions today will contribute to further strengthening of not just the Philippines-India business ties, but ASEAN-India trade and investment relations as well. I wish you success in your future endeavors. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Very much, Your Excellency, President Ramnath Kovind. It was also a pleasure to listen to your remarks, sir, during the state banquet last night at the palace in your honor. And now we proceed to the Memorandum of Understanding, or the MOU. To all signatories of the Memorandum of Understanding, we request you to stand in place as the name of your company is called. Our first Memorandum of Understanding with the partners of Prasad Seeds, Malayan Insurance, and Satsur is for the satellite-based weather index insurance for hybrid corn seeds. Please stand. There. Oh. Hi, Yvonne. Good evening. Thank you so much for your commitment. Our next Memorandum of Understanding is with the partners of CDA, Satsur, Obra Palma Land Holdings Incorporated, KR Agro India. This is for the satellite of enabled integrated agri-clinic, agri-fintech, mobile app for agri-extension, agri-supply chain services, and farm-to-market e-commerce platform. Thank you very much for your commitment. Our third Memorandum of Understanding with the partners of Al Amana Islamic Investment Bank of the Philippines, Satsur, Auma Global Capital Holdings Inc., Bati Consulting Incorporated, and CDMC Grains Philippines Inc. is for the world's first ever satellite-enabled Islamic agri-credit solution and Takaful crop insurance product. Thank you very much. And our last but definitely not the least, Memorandum of Understanding with the Harvest Agribusiness Corporation, KR Agro Farm India, is for the Indian garlic and onion adaptability varietal trial and scientific production technology training and knowledge transfer to smallholder Filipino farmers. Again, thank you and maraming salamat for your commitment. And now we proceed to an important part of Philippine culture, definitely the group photographs. So may we now invite our honorable guests to take a photo with our dignitaries on stage. First off, we would like to call on, after Saja, a unit of performing arts, the ones who performed earlier today or this evening. A round of applause, please. We would like to request all members of the Philippine Cabinet and senators present to please come on stage. Senator Coco Pimentel, Secretary Dar, and Mrs. Subiri. Okay, thank you very much. We'd like to call on the ASEAN country representatives, FICCI Philippines President Rex Daryanani, India Business Forum President Pushkar Misra, PCCI Chairman Emeritus Francis Chua. Thank you very much. And now we would like to request for all the signatories of the MOU to please come on stage. Thank you everyone, and of course thank you to all our dignitaries on stage. Let's give them all a warm round of applause, please. Thank you very much. May we request everyone to please rise for the departure of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of India, Ramnath Kovind. Now we go to the ASEAN India Achievement and Excellence Awards. The ASEAN India Business Awards, which is in its 4th year running, and aim to acknowledge the ASEAN and India companies who have made significant contribution for strengthening bilateral trade and investment between ASEAN and India. This award is given to the prominent companies that have contributed to the promotion of ASEAN-India business linkages. To bestow the ASEAN India Achievement and Excellence Awards, may we call on stage Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry, Secretary Ramon Lopez. May we also call on the Minister of National Unity, Malaysia, the Honorable Minister Waitha Murthy Ponusuman. My dear friend, the Ambassador of the Embassy of India to the Philippines, His Excellency Jaideep Mazumdar. The ASEAN India Business Council, Dr. Ramesh Kodamal. International is one of the leading integrated agricultural commodity and food solution providers in the world. Since its founding in 1990, Agrocorp has grown its business worldwide and handled more than 11.5 million metric tons of goods in fiscal year 2019, placing it as one of the largest movers of agricultural commodities in the world, with a sales revenue of almost $3.3 billion US. To receive the award for Agrocorp Corporation International Pte. Limited, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Yengar Vijayakumar Gopala. Second, ECU Worldwide. ECU Worldwide is the global leader in LCL consolidation with 300 plus offices in 160 plus countries. Over the years, ECU Worldwide has mastered ocean trade with its comprehensive network, knowledge, experience, and people to manage. ECU Worldwide with its services has been servicing the ASEAN region and connecting it with the world through customized solutions. With presence in Cambodia, Brunei, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, and Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. ECU Worldwide is one of the foremost logistics players in the region. And to receive the award for ECU Worldwide, Country Manager Mr. Kaushal Shetty, together with Cluster Manager for Southeast Asia, Mr. Ramananda Sharma. Let's give them a warm round of applause, please. Because we lost to them in the bidding for the Cebu Airport years ago. GMR Group is a leading infrastructure developer that has excelled in creating mega infrastructure projects globally. The group owns, develops, operates, and manages airports, major energy utilities, highways, and urban infrastructure facilities. With a net asset base of nearly $8 billion, GMR Group is one of the largest infrastructure development companies in India. GMR Group's airport portfolio comprises of 3 operational assets: Delhi International Airport, Hyderabad International Airport in India, and Matan Cebu Airport, of course. And to receive the award, we would like to call on for GMR, Group Executive Officer, Mr. Vivek Singhal, and Andrew. Mr. Andrew Henson. By the way, I'm from Cebu, because I am from Cebu, and I have to admit, it's a beautiful airport and well operated. Goes to show that the private sector can indeed do a lot of good things as far as infrastructure is concerned. Thank you very much. And our next awardee is Indraprastha Apollo Hospitals. Apollo Hospitals in India is the largest integrated healthcare group with over 10,000 beds across 72 hospitals and has touched the lives of more than 150 million patients from 141 countries. Apollo Hospitals has been deeply committed in promoting quality healthcare in ASEAN, especially with respect to awareness, treatment, and follow-up for biliary atresia, hepatitis, and oncology patients from all over the region. With over 9,000 patients treated from the ASEAN, Apollo Hospitals is dedicated to offer its expertise and experience for life-saving services to the people in the region. And to receive the award for Indraprastha Apollo Hospitals, VP Corporate Development Head International Relations, Dr. Harinder Singh Sidhu. Oyo Hotels and Homes began its foray into the Southeast Asian market in 2016 with Malaysia, and since then, they have grown their presence to over 125 cities in Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, and even in Vietnam. Today, Oyo Hotels and Homes has over 1,260 plus hotels and 32,000 plus exclusive rooms under management within Southeast Asia. Oyo aims to add 2 million rooms under management in Southeast Asia by the year 2025. To receive the award for Oyo Hotels and Homes, Chief Executive Officer, Southeast Asia and Middle East, Mr. Mandar Biyaja. Shapurji Balonji Group, or the SP Group, was established in 1865 in India. A global diversified institution, the SP Group has a leading presence in the sectors of engineering, construction, infrastructure, real estate, water, energy, and financial services. a dedicated 69,000 people workforce delivers end-to-end solutions across over 70 countries. The group companies build megastructures, develop multifaceted, iconic landmarks, drive innovative technologies in water management, renewable energy, oil and gas and power, with a focus on good governance and sustainable development to engineer a better and sustainable planet. To receive the award for SP Group Private Limited Chief Executive Officer and Director, Mr. Ravi Shankar. Limited. Singtel is Asia's leading communications technology group, providing a portfolio of services from next-generation communication technology to infotainment to both consumers and businesses. For consumers, Singtel delivers a complete and integrated suite of services including mobile, broadband, and TV. For business, Singtel offers a complementary array of workforce mobility solutions, data housing or hosting, cloud network infrastructure, analytics, cybersecurity capabilities, and other telecommunications programs. The group has presence in Asia, Australia, and Africa, and reaches more than 700 million mobile customers in 21 countries. Its infrastructure and technology services for businesses span 21 countries with more than 428 direct points of presence in 362 cities. To receive the award for Singtel, CFO International Group, Mr. Cobb Boone. Congratulations again. Our next awardee is SPI Global. SPI Global is a market-leading content technology and content solution enterprise that provides data services and subject matter expertise to multiple industries such as publishing, finance, healthcare, life sciences, media and retail, research, learning, and also corporates. With a client base scoping 30 countries worldwide, SPI Global delivers business transformation services from 18 centers across the globe. The company's multi-geographical resource pool is comprised of more than 13,500 employees strategically located in 6 countries, namely the Philippines, India, US, China, Nicaragua, and Vietnam. And to receive the award for SPI Global Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Prabhakar Bisel. Congratulations. Our next awardee, Tata Consultancy Services. TCS is an IT services consulting and business solutions organization partnering with many of the world's largest businesses in their transformational journeys for the last 50 years. The company's geographic footprint covers North America, Latin America, the United Kingdom, continental Europe, Asia Pacific, India, Middle East, and Africa. The ASEAN region is an integral market for TCS, and TCS continues to demonstrate its commitment to the region by providing cutting-edge technology to corporations and ensuring our workforce is highly engaged and enabled to ensure future readiness to all its customers. And to receive the award for Tata Consultancy Services, Country Head, Mr. Shiju Varghese. Congratulations to all our winners and awardees. And now, can we proceed to the group photos? All the winners, please. My good friend Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles to please join us, and my former colleague during the administration of President Estrada. He was also the Agriculture Secretary during the time of President Estrada. Secretary Dar, please join us, and of course our Presidential Advisor on Entrepreneurship, the dynamic, hardworking Joey Concepcion. Round of applause, please. And now we proceed to the Excellence Awards. This is our next set of awards for tonight. First off, Malindo Air. Malindo Air is a Malaysian registered airline in operation since 2013. It operates 1,500 weekly flights into 57 destinations across 17 countries in Australasia with a fleet of about 29 Boeing 737NG jets and 15 ATR 600s. Since 2017, Malindo Air is an IOSA certified airline, the international standard for operational management and control systems of an airline. To date, Malindo Air has flown in excess of 29 million passengers. It has the youngest fleet in Malaysia with an average of 4.6 years. To receive the award for Malindo Airways is Director for Commercial, Legal, and Human Resource, Mr. Siwa Kana. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Our next awardee is Wipro. Wipro Limited, with its innovative as-a-service offerings and deep understanding of the region since 2001, is helping ASEAN organizations deliver on their business goals. They are a leading provider of consulting, system integration, and outsourcing solutions in the region, with more than 10,074 employees supporting over 50 customers locally. The ASEAN region is part of Wipro's growth market portfolio and is among the fastest growing regions in the world. To receive this award for Wipro Limited is country head, Mr. Asim Roy. and furthering unity. Mr. Dato Ramesh Kodamal will now present mementos to the Honorable Secretary of Trade, Juan Lopez, Minister Watay Morty, and His Excellency, the Ambassador of India to the Philippines, Jaidin Mazumdar. Can we also invite Mr. Johnny Chaurani on stage? Johnny? Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles to join us, and of course, Secretary Joey Concepcion, Presidential Advisor Joey, and Secretary of Agriculture, William Dar, please. Jaidin Mazumdar. Let's give them a warm round of applause, congratulations to all the awardees of the ASEAN India Achievement and Excellence Awards, and our gratitude and thank you to all our distinguished presenters. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we proceed to the FICCI Awards of Excellence, Philippine Awards of Excellence. So remember, this is the very first. So let us call on the first Vice President of FICCI Philippines, Mr. Ravi Samtani, and the President of FICCI Philippines, the man who asked me to be here tonight, and I cannot say no to him, my good friend, the hardworking Mr. Rex Daryanani.
We are honored to present tonight the very first Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce Philippines Incorporated Awards of Excellence. The peacock, a large and majestic bird, is the national bird of India. It is a symbol of grace, joy, beauty, love, and harmony. The significance of the peacock is attached to the culture of India. In Hinduism, the peacock is the image of the god of rain. Lord Indra was depicted in the form of a peacock. In Christianity, the peacock is also known as a symbol of the resurrection. The Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce Philippines Incorporated Golden Peacock Award of Excellence is given to outstanding public officials who have shown exemplary leadership, dedication, and vision that has greatly contributed to the enhanced bilateral relations between the republics of Philippines and India, and for their unwavering support to our chamber. Our awardees tonight have continuously demonstrated their sincerity, commitment, and hard work in achieving all of the above. Their efforts are heartwarming and for which our chamber will be forever grateful. It is with deep pride and gratitude that we present these beautiful Golden Peacock Awards, handcrafted by skilled Indian artisans, to the following 7 outstanding individuals. We request our awardees to remain on stage after they have received their awards. The first award goes to His Excellency Ramon S. Magatsing Jr., Ambassador, Embassy of the Philippines, New Delhi. His Excellency Jaideep Mazumdar, Ambassador, Embassy of India, Manila, who we all thank for the amazing arrangements of this presidential visit. Jose Maria Joey Concepcion III, Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, founder of Go Negosyo, and Padma Shri awardee. Secretary of the Department of Transportation, to be accepted on his behalf by Attorney Giovanni Lopez, Head of Procurement of the Department of Transportation, as he is out of town. Our next awardee is the Honorable Ramon M. Lopez, Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry. Christopher Lawrence Bong P. Go, to be accepted on his behalf by the Department of Health Assistant Secretary Abdullah Dumama, as he is out of town. Our final awardee is the Honorable Senator Juan Miguel F. Zubiri, Majority Leader, Senate of the Philippines, to be represented by his lovely wife, Ms. Audrey Zubiri, as he is out of the country. Presented on this 19th day of October 2019 at the Makati Shangri-La Hotel, Makati City, Philippines, signed Rex Darianani, President, and Rani Santani, Vice President of External Affairs. May I request the Board of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce to please join us up on stage. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations to all our awardees and presenter for the very first Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce Incorporated Philippines Awards of Excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is now served.
The upcoming performance brings to you the joyful ecstasy of being gently drawn to the eternal beloved. It involves embracing with love each moment of one's consciousness as gifts of God, or more precisely, as manifestations of Him. One can see his or her own self to be on a spiritual journey towards the Supreme.
The National Folk Dance Company of the Philippines by virtue of Republic Act 8626, takes its name from an ancient Filipino tradition called bayanihan, which means working together for a common good. Backed up by research and innovative choreography, Bayanihan, now on its 61st year of touching lives and sharing culture, has mounted 14 major world tours, over 100 short tours in 6 continents, 77 countries, and more than 700 cities worldwide. Today, Bayanihan shines proudly as a 12-time World Dance Grand Prize winner. We are honored to perform for you the beauty of diverse cultures and the captivating multicultural influences of Philippine music and dances. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bayanihan, the National Folk Dance Company of the Philippines. Mindanao Mosaic. In southern Philippines, on the vast island of Mindanao and on the adjacent island of the Sulu archipelago, live Filipinos who embraced Islam as early as the 14th century. Their music, dance, and costumes reflect Arabian and Indo-Malayan influences while capturing Muslim Filipino culture.
mantra, Astoma Sadgamaya, meaning leading from darkness to light. Our coming up performance is being rendered in this background. This performance, true to its meaning, makes one move towards reality, light, and peace. If it reflects alignment and balance on one hand, it also reflects speed, energy, and vibrancy on the other. The brush of creativity explores the canvas of the floor with a dynamic choreography.
people under the sun. The friendly sunny nature of Philippine country people is captured in sparkling dances of skill, frolic, and delight. This suite portrays bits of life on the Philippine countryside today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bayanihan, the national folk dance company of the Philippines.
Colors of Life is a unique composition where different dance styles come together under one umbrella. The composition moves on to the different colors and the dance styles too change, amalgamating all to reflect the universal concept of the medium of expression of dance. It is also a reflection of the spirit of celebration with all its zest and zeal.
Change your life. Change your life. Change Change your life.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the Philippines-India Business Conclave and 4th ASEAN India Business Summit. Please enjoy the rest of your night.